Well, let's bring in our good buddy, Carol Everett. Hello, Carol.
Hey there. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. You're joining us from down in Round Rock, Texas, which is just near Austin, where Nolan Ryan owns the minor league baseball team.
Yes, and we have a big old round rock behind our office.
A big round rock. Imagine that in Round Rock, Texas.
Wow.
Wow, that's weird. Hey, Carol, how many abortion clinics have shut down so far?
17 so far.
Whoa.
Wow.
That is amazing.
All right.
It is amazing.
And counting.
And counting. Right.
Remember, this is just the response. They did not even touch the 5-month ban on abortions. They didn't even go there. But they did. The thing that really got them was the RU-486, because 28% of abortions in Texas were RU-486 abortions. This is a way for them to double dip, to do the abortion up to 4 times on one woman we have,
Right.
before they finally did a surgical, charge her every time for something. And then, of course, the ban that you just talked about, or actually not a ban, the requirement that a physician performing abortions must have a license within 30 miles of the facility. And, Mark, one of the things that we knew when we started this was that years and years ago, somewhere down the line, even the National Abortion Federation recommended this. But then also we know that an abortionist cannot get admitting privileges for a couple of other reasons. We're really glad that you did what you did, and we appreciate that. We'll never know what you really did there, Mark, but it certainly affirmed what we were thinking, because they don't want a doctor who just does abortions, because he's going to bring dirty business to their hospital, and not only dirty business, but he may bring people that don't have insurance coverage. So they don't want abortionists. So this has been a great, we knew a third of the abortionists in Texas did not have hospital admitting privileges. So this has been a great thing. They are now giving them tickets to get on railroads. I mean, when in the world? When did we use Amtrak for transportation? They're giving them gasoline cards, trying to transfer them from city to city to their chains.
You're talking about the patients.
Yes, they're doing. The abortion clinics are doing incredible things to try to save their business. But right now, we think we're saving about 50 babies a day, and we expect that to grow. Actually, with the defunding of Planned Parenthood, the sonogram law, which saved about 13,000 that we know of, we believe this year we're saving already about 24,000. We'll save 40,000 abortions a year will be stopped. 40,000 babies' lives will be saved. Abortion will be cut in half in Texas from the time we started this in 2008.
And 40,000 women a year won't be living with this for the rest of their life.
Well, and families will be intact. And all, yes, it just goes on and on and on. It never ends.
The ripple effect of it is amazing. Well,
yes.
I want to tell you how much I appreciate you're doing what you do. I couldn't deal with these politicians. It's better that you do that. I couldn't deal with these people. So, again, I appreciate the work that you do there. But
well, I've got to tell you, though, Mark, this year it was fun. And the reason it was fun is God showed up. Literally, we knew we couldn't do it, but he did it. And it was just wonderful.
Right.
Hey, Carol, it's Jill. I have a question. I've read that 12 of those 17 clinics that have closed are Planned Parenthood clinics.
Yes, but they're in smaller areas.
Well, the case that's being made is if abortion only accounts for 3% of Planned Parenthood's business, why do these clinics have to close? Why do so many of their clinics have to close? And the question is, are they totally closing, or are they leaving open the birth control STD component of their business?
In Texas, Jill, they don't get state or federal funding for that. We passed a law that they cannot get those funds 2 years ago, and that's been in effect for over 2 years now. So they've closed their family planning businesses, and now they're closing their abortion businesses, and they are closing their doors. Now, in Houston, they still are using the telephone numbers. So when you call the Stafford Clinic, you think you're getting Stafford, but you're getting a central telephone answering bank at the 45, at the big abortion clinic over in Houston.
Yeah.
So they're still directing them, but the majority of them are closing. Now, they are also telling people that they're going to hold on for 2 months until this comes back from the Supreme Court. You know, the bills we used we thought would be upheld. We did not think for 1 minute we were going to lose, and so we expect the Supreme Court, you know, it's before Scalia. We think he'll uphold it, then they can appeal it to another panel and all this stuff. But right now what we're doing is praying that that Scalia will just send it to the whole court. It'll be heard and dealt with now so babies' lives can be saved immediately.
I don't see how they cannot do that.
I hope and pray you're right, Mark, and that's what that's what I'd like to see. I mean, what are they going to do? Scalia says no, they go to another panel? Come on.
Right.
And the Fifth Circuit sent them such an incredible record. It will be very hard very hard for them not to uphold the Texas law.
You know, one thing from a PR standpoint I think is very important here that the media just conveniently glazed over and didn't say a word about. We're always accused of this so-called war on women, which I find kind of weird considering that the pro-life movement is dominated by females. But nonetheless, they always accuse us of this so-called war on women. This three-judge panel that upheld the constitutionality of the Texas laws that were just passed that we're talking about here, all three of them were female judges.
Yes, and it was unanimous.
And it was unanimous. The three of them, all three voted to uphold this. Are they part of the war on women too, these three federal judges?
Must be. And I'll tell you what's interesting on this war. They've all been printing all these stories about how there's no place for women to go. We went from 95 abortion clinics providing family planning services in Texas to 2,961 providers, some MDs, all across the state of Texas, even in rural areas. And I want you to know that I've been working for 3 weeks to try to get that printed, and no one will print it.
Right. So we went from less than 100, fewer than 100 abortion providers doing this. They get wiped out, and 3,000 legitimate physicians do it, and the media doesn't talk about it.
No, and we can't get it printed in any of those outlets. So
right.
It's very interesting, and, this is a David and Goliath thing, but, our God wins.
Let's don't forget on David and Goliath, David won.
Yes.
Right. That's the part that always gets ignored when we use this David and Goliath analogy.
Well, this is one of those situations where you got a kind of a law here that reframes the whole debate in a way that we win, and that is that instead of this supposed conflict between a mother and her baby, you have here the conflict between an unscrupulous, unregulated abortion industry and mother and baby together on the other side. Mother, baby, father, the whole family. Hospital admitting privileges. Why? Because something might go wrong. Things do go wrong in that abortion facility. So then whose side are you going to be on? Well, we're on the side of the mom and the baby. Why shouldn't this hospital be able to deal with this? So these are the kinds of laws that more and more in states across the country we're seeing, and we're winning.
Well, the point too is, let's just say that you make the inane argument. It'd be insane to say this, that nothing's going to go wrong. It's perfectly safe. The question then becomes, though, do you still want somebody doing this who can't get hospital privileges?
That's right.
Let's just say nothing ever goes wrong. Do you want the kind of guy? Well, the fact is, that's who winds up working in an abortion clinic. No one goes to medical school to say, oh, when I get out of medical school, I want to go to work at Planned Parenthood. Nobody says that. You wind up at Planned Parenthood because you're a bad doctor, and we have seen this through our malpractice cases over the years. You're a bad doctor, you can't get admitting privileges, you've got malpractice problems, or you lost your practice because you're no damn good. That's what happens. Right. And that's who winds up working at Planned Parenthood. So the question I've always asked is, why is it that we look out here and say, Texas women or women anywhere are going to lose their health care coverage, we got to have Planned Parenthood. Why would we say to poor women, your only option is to get your health care from an abortionist? Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the thing that I would, and Carol, I would propose this to you next time you're in some kind of hearing down in Austin. I would ask these pro-aborts who are on these panels or these state reps or whatever, how many, I want to see a show of hands here. How many of you go to Planned Parenthood for your health care? How many of you take your family to Planned Parenthood for their health care? And I'm going to tell you right now, Carol, not one of them is going to raise their hand.
No, they won't. No, they won't. It's just like Congress doesn't have Obamacare. Truthfully, and that's the thing we've got to be concerned with, though. I'm glad you brought that up because it made me think about Obamacare. And those Planned Parenthoods that are staying alive because they are going to be providing Obamacare. And we have got to find a way to take care of the $1 a month that was supposed to be optional, that is now in Obamacare. Every person on Obamacare will be paying $1 a month for abortions. And if we don't get ready for the next wave, we're going to be in trouble again.
Well,
because the only places that are staying awake in Texas right now are Planned Parenthood.
Right, exactly. Well, that was the plan all along. Well, thanks, Carol. I appreciate what you're doing down there. I wish you could have been here in person today, but
I'm sorry I missed y'all, but remember we win. We're on God's side. We're the only side having babies.
That's exactly right. We're the side having babies. Thanks, Carol.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Listen.